I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.
Furious fanatics, Fury fam out there, welcome to another episode of the Two Guys with Glasses podcast. I am your host, Larry K. If you haven't done so yet, you need to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, particularly that like button. Let's get a critical mass of people in here because what I'm about to say and dissect and analyze with my man G is important stuff. We need as many eyeballs on this as possible because we are defeating narratives. We are the odd man in the media sphere, and we are going to dissect some of these comments that everybody's harping on about Tua Tagovailoa. We are going to dissect these comments in a more advanced and in-depth way. I think there are many things to derive or to glean from these comments. My boy Shake Money told me, hey, you need to do a cross-examination on the Tua press conference. I said, brother, don't you worry. Tonight on our usual show, the Two Guys with Glasses podcast, we are going to be doing that. Now, this team has not inspired any confidence in me all season. I think most of us know that, and it's tough to even get up to discuss this team at this point, but you guys keep me going, and that's why we're here. And we've witnessed an epic collapse of this team to the point that, quite frankly, I think the win against the Jets was more detrimental than helpful. The Jets are now in position to have the number one pick if the draft were to occur today. I know there's a long season ahead of us, but just take a look. I want you to take a look at the AFC East standings right now. Has anybody been in their bubble so much as Dolphins fans that they haven't taken a look at the rest of the division? Because the New England Patriots are now in first place in the division. And if you had followed Larry K or the Phin-Addict Fury channel in the past, you would know that I was very worried about Mike Vrabel getting a job with New England. I thought we should have tried to get out and gotten Mike Vrabel. And I think he still would have left for New England. That's where he played ball. That's where he has all his memories. That's where he always probably wanted to go. But I knew that New England bringing in Mike Vrabel and pushing ahead would get them ahead of us. And New England has been rebuilding for about half the time we have. And they're already surpassing us. They're sitting in first place in the AFC East. The Bills go down. That was props to G. He was predicting on the Fins tailgate that they could lose. And some people were kind of laughing him off like, yeah, get a grip. That ain't happening. But sure enough, it did happen. The Bills lose. The Patriots are in first place. And here's the thing. There's a lot of controversy going on about Tua Tagovailoa, what he said. And, guys are missing team meetings. Guys are late to team meetings. He's throwing guys under the bus. I think there's even a deeper issue at play here. And I think it just goes to the root of what's wrong with this team. I'm going to bring G on. G, what are you doing? You driving from work right now?
Yes, sir. I'm on my way home. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. So we're gonna G, I want you to listen because what we're gonna do is we're gonna play something here, and I want people to listen. So first of all, I want people to understand that the comments that people are talking about here came at the very end of the press conference. So I want you to hear at first what Tua said early on in the press conference, and then we'll get to that.
You could say.
So
just this shocked. I guess you could say. Just this is something that we've talked about collectively as a team, about being able to finish in games like this, where we have the opportunity to win the game. And it's not just one side of the ball. It's every phase. I've contributed with the turnovers. We had some missed opportunities in teams. Then we had some missed opportunities on defense as well. But for us to go out there, have an opportunity to seal the game, and then, we don't allow that to happen. Either way, last week, Carolina offense, this week, you can look at it however you want. That's just that's just not the way we want to play football and establish what we've been talking about throughout OTAs, training camp, and even in our meetings, like our leadership meetings. Like it's frustrating, to say the least.
So that was the early beginning part of the press conference, and this was the end of the press conference.
What we're expecting out of the guy.
How do you keep this team from taking a woe is me mentality towards what's going on with you guys? How do you keep this team from taking a woe is me mentality, like this keeps happening to us situation?
Yeah. Well, I think it starts with the leadership in helping articulate that for the guys, and then what we're expecting out of the guys, right? We're expecting this. Are we getting that? Are we not getting that? We have guys showing up to player-only meetings late, guys not showing up to player-only meetings. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. Do we have to make this mandatory? Do we not have to make this mandatory? So it's a lot of things of that nature that we got to get cleaned up, and it starts with the little things like that.
To be clear, you're saying some players were late or missed?
Late, yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me just get this off the screen real quick. And I want to, so what I heard here is initially Tua comes out and he says, look, this is disappointing overall. This is not the type of team we want to be. This is not what we've been trying to do. At the end of the day, the offense screwed up last week. This week was the defense. It's every phase of the game. No matter how you slice it, we're not closing out games. I can even be blamed with the turnovers. And then he goes through a bunch of stuff through the whole press conference. And at the very end of the press conference, Omar Kelly goes, how do you stop the team from having a woe is me mentality? And then he says, well, it's letting the guys know what we expect from the guys. Do we have to make things mandatory? Guys not showing up, guys late. Joe Shad, always knowing he's going to get a little sneaky headline in there, goes, are you saying guys missed meetings? He said guys were late. He says thank you. Well, there's a few things, G, that I think we can glean from this conversation, and I want to hear your perspective. Number one, I think Tua did come out at first. So, and this is me, who's not a huge Tua fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I think there is some bit of a narrative here where, there was the situation with Zach Wilson last year with the Jets, where it was like, do you feel bad that you let the defense down? And he said, no, I don't feel that way. There's been situations where quarterbacks, including Tua, have come out and just off the bat said ridiculous things. We did have Omar Kelly ask Tua a few weeks ago, why do your turnovers come in bunches? And he acted appalled by the notion that he would even suggest that, saying, bunches, that's crazy. That's crazy. But in this particular instance, I thought early on Tua was trying to say, look, I'm to blame with the turnovers. The defense is to blame. The offense is to blame. We're just not there as a team. And I don't know why we can't get to where we're talking about. Well, I want to break that down first, and then I'm going to break down the end, and I'm going to kick it to you, G. I think that what you're seeing in Tua right there, and this is a little bit of the cross-examination as suggested by Shake, what you're seeing early on is Tua understanding or trying to learn from his prior mistakes in negative press and saying, let me bring up the turnovers, because the turnovers definitely happened. I had 3 of them. And last time Omar asked me about this, I acted pompous and ridiculous. And now I'm going to try to get out ahead of that by taking some responsibility, right? And he also wanted to throw it on the defense this game, but acknowledge, hey, last game it was the offense. We're just not the team we talk about being. I think what stands out there is Tua is trying his best to learn how to properly take responsibility and to properly not put it on the defense or put it on the excuse or whatever. But you're seeing him do that on purpose because he's consciously trying his best to do what he was taught to do by whoever is telling him, bro, you can't be throwing other guys under the bus. Bro, you can't be telling Omar Kelly that he's crazy for saying turnovers come in bunches when they do, in fact, come in bunches. And he's consciously trying to say, look, the defense, but it's me too, all that. But what I also hear there, which is indicative of the state of the team and how deep this dysfunction currently goes, is I hear Tua saying that we're not the team we talk about being. And what you hear is that Tua, he's been told he's a captain. He's been named a captain. He's been told he's a leader. He's trying to embrace in words saying, I'm a leader. And he doesn't understand why they can't close games out. And he doesn't understand why the team is not getting it done. And he doesn't understand why the things they talk about aren't manifesting themselves on the field. And the problem there is that this is a guy, I think, led by a coach, I think, and an other posse of guys, I think, that don't quite know how to lead by example and lead on the field. They may have the captain on their shirts. The head coach may talk a lot about sticking together. Tua may say, I'm a leader. They may tell him he's a leader. They may say we're talking about closing things out, but they don't know how to actually make it happen because all of these things are in words only. All of these things are in name only, and he can't quite get it done. Now, at the end, the thing everybody's talking about, Omar Kelly kind of baits him and he says, how do you keep the team from a woe is me attitude? Meaning, heads down, not caring anymore, shrugging your shoulders, giving up on the season. And Tua says, well, maybe we've got to know. And this is interesting too, because Tua separates himself from the rest of the team. You got to understand that. He is either talking about himself and the other captains, or he's talking about himself and the coaching staff, which he is more, aligned with than the rest of the rank and file of the team. I don't know which one it was, but if you listen, he clearly says, and you got to catch it, he clearly says, we have to let the guys know what we expect from the guys. So the guys are everybody else, and we is either him and other leadership, or it's him and the coaching staff. And he's elevating himself above the guys in that situation without really knowing what he's saying. He's just being himself. We got to let the guys know what we expect from the guys. Not showing up for meetings, late for meetings. And Joe Shad goes, are you telling me guys haven't shown up? He said, guys were late to meetings. So what I'm getting is that they're already in this woe is me. That's what you have to take from it too, right? Omar's question was loaded. It was, how do you keep them from getting into a woe is me? Tua said, well, guys are already not showing up. Guys are already not. That means the attitude around the building is already woe is me. The attitude around the building is already guys with their head down. The attitude around the building is already guys shrugging their shoulders. And I would bet you that that started occurring much earlier than the rest of the mainstream media wanted it to. Because I think that the rank and file people on this team know that this team is not really headed anywhere. Know that this head coach can't get it done. Know that the roster they've put together this offseason can't get it done. Know that Tua can't get it done. And they already have this woe is me. And as much as Tua tries to get guys to buy in, they're simply not buying in. Now, I don't think that Tua did himself any favors by airing that out. If you look around, you can spot now the narrative spinners. And I know you guys already know who they are. But you can spot the narrative spinners or the guy like Big O, who's out there saying, Tua called it out. Tua called the nonsense out. There's so much dysfunction because the coaching staff has to go. You got to give Tua credit for calling it out. That's just a way to spin it to make it look like he's the good guy and this coach has to go. In reality, I think the coach and the quarterback both have issues and they both need to go. But I do think that the way we've dissected this post-game presser are interesting based on what was actually said. And Phil says, Fury fan member, thanks for your support. He says, I'm sure the locker room is just going to love him airing dirty laundry to the media after another meh performance. G, what are your thoughts on all of this controversy, on what I just said in general?
I mean, I'm just going to let you guys know, I'm going through my dead zone right now. So if I cut off, please let me know and I'll come back and I'll try to regather my thought. I'm gonna be honest. The first half of the press conference I didn't watch until right now, to me was kind of coming off that like Tua was kind of taking accountability, you know, the other and the rest of the team. But mainly the end part is like all I paid attention to, if I'm being honest. Now maybe I got to go back and rewatch the press conference, the beginning of the press conference, going to get a better understanding. But to me, you know, Larry, if you remember in the beginning of the week, what I took from it is like, you know, Tua seems now to care really, because if you guys remember early in the week, he says it doesn't matter if I throw 5 picks, 5 touchdowns, I go to my kids. It kind of came off with that comment that, you know, he's just collecting a check and he doesn't care. But, you know, he comes into and now he all of a sudden gives a damn. And he wants to sit up there and blame the leadership. I mean, Tua is a part of the leadership.
Yeah.
I get it. Some people are followers, not leaders. But when you're put in a leadership role and you've been in the league for 6 years, sometimes you gotta say enough's enough. I'm no longer following. It's time for me to lead. And it's just annoying at this rate. You know, I'm sick of this, you know, players not showing up and whatnot. And my dad said it best, and I'm going to say it now. What Mike McGee and Tua and all these leadership need to do is when they're having practice or meetings, if you show up late, you might as well not come. You might as well stay home for the day. We're good. We don't need you. That's what they should do. And if they're having a players' own meeting and the guys want to show up late, kick them out.
Yeah.
That I think if we start doing that around here, I think you would see a much change in the culture a little bit. Because if you're kicking players, if people want to come late, so what? You find them $5,000. That's not going to do anything. They're probably still making way more than we are. They're making millions of dollars, so a fine's not going to help. If you tell them just to go home and not come if you're going to be late, I think you could see a real change in culture. But we can't do that because Mike McGee opted to be a player's coach, and the players run the assignment. And if you do something like that, I think Mike McGee, you know, I don't know if that's going to hurt his status or whatnot. But yeah, these players, man, Tua is trying to hold accountability. Seems like in these press conferences, Larry, when Tua's up there, it's a whole lot of we, they, them, and it's never an I. I never heard Tua say in these press conferences. Maybe I got to go back and watch them because, you know, I hate watching McGeek's press conference, and now I hate watching Tua press conferences. Maybe I go back and watch. I never heard Tua say I. Because if you guys know Cam Ward, the rookie quarterback in the Titans, he was basically blaming himself in a sense. He was also saying that the entire team is also not good, but he was also taking accountability on himself. And I have never heard Tua say that once. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got to go back and watch these press conferences, but I never hear Tua say, it's me. I got to stop throwing the football, turning over the ball. I got to, you know, make plays to help my O-line out. It's always blaming the O-line, blaming his receivers, saying you guys got to get to your spot. If I can't see you, I can't see you. It's always an excuse with this guy. I'm quite frankly fed up. I'm done with it. I think it's time for a change of guard, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about that a lot tonight on this show.
Yeah, and I hear you, G. That's well said, and on many levels. I do want to share just to show people some of the narrative nonsense that we got to deal with. This is the kind of thing that people are spinning, and it's just wild to me. Just listen to this.
Let's get into what I think was Tua's best pass ever. And yesterday at the podium, he dropped a bomb that the Gap Band couldn't even match. And to me, again, this puts us at odds and talking about it and all that. To me, it was beautiful. It was awesome. It was needed because you know it's what's going on. But yet the McDaniels of the world will never fix it. The front office, the ownership, they can't fix it, right? So somebody has got to throw the lit grenade and kind of let it explode, okay? Because I told you guys last offseason, as I showed you all the defections, and I walked you through all of the stuff. If you didn't watch during the offseason, that's sorry, you know. That's what you get insight there too at the same time. And we walked you through every person that left and reasons. And
you see, that's just the ridiculousness of him. He's trying to put it on, oh, Tua called out. Tua called out, what needed to be called out, which was that no one can get it right. Well, part of the reason that no one could get it right is because the entire franchise has been built around Tua and trying to prop him up as some kind of generational talent and ultimate leader. And guys like Big O just simply can't let it go. And anything he does, they have to prop up. Now, here's part of the problem that I personally think. Tua doesn't quite know how to fill that role. And he doesn't quite know how to fill those shoes, yet they keep forcing him into it. And it's a place I don't think he's comfortable in. I don't think he's ever been comfortable in that position. And they've tried so hard to find a way for him to be this generational talent, this leader. And it's just not something that he's comfortable with. And you get a guy like Big O up there just trying to still spin it as if it was some genius, ballsy move that, needed to be done. And Tua took a calculated and bold step when he decided to call out the team. And in reality, I think what you're really seeing is a guy who's out of answers, who's not being led by a head coach or a front office. That part I will agree with with Big O on. He's not being led by a front office that knows how to lead or knows how to instill a better culture in the team. And instead, he's going out there and just airing out dirty laundry because he doesn't quite know what else to say. And he's just lost. And guys like Big O will never let go of that. They'll never change the narrative. And it puts us in the situation that we're in, and it gives fans that want to be Tuaneers the chance to continue to buy into that type of nonsense, which is just patently inaccurate. I agree with what you're saying, G. I think that Tua's in a position that, let's face it, and I wrote a written column. If you guys want to see my written weekly column, click join, become members. It's available to members every week. I laid out the instances where, from the Brian Flores, you can't talk to people that way, to the bunches, what are you talking about? To the shades on the sideline, to the market is the market, to the show me the money. I mean, this is just a young man who is consistently told how great he is. It's a young man who is never he isn't necessarily the guy who's going to lead a team through tough times in that way. He may be trying, but without the right front office, without the right culture in the locker room, without the right constructive criticism on Tua, without any of those things, he's lost. And when you hang him out there to dry, he's going to say things like he did, and he's going to alienate his teammates because he doesn't know what else to do. This entire iteration of the Dolphins is a failure. And they brought McDaniel in to cheerlead for Tua. Remember, McDaniel came in, I made him a whole mixtape. I made him a mixtape of all the best plays he made to show him what a great quarterback he is. They've been coddling him and babying him. Maybe they could have stomped out this nonsense 5 years ago if they were just a little tougher. And now they expect him to go out there and carry himself so well. This entire culture has been built around the wrong ideas and the wrong things. And what do you expect him to do? This is what he is going to do. This is who he is, G.
Yeah, I mean, the Big O, man, at first when I saw him on Douglas' channel, I thought he was a good guy. I still think he's a good guy. I would like to meet him in real life, but just some of his takes have been awful in the last couple of years. First things first, back in when we had Flores, he was a Chris Greer defender. He was up there on his show, crapping all over Brian Flores, calling him Cam Flo. To me, that's when that's when I stopped listening to him. And I think I could be wrong because I don't watch his content. I think he's blaming Greer. Right? I could be wrong. I don't listen to him, but I think he's blaming Greer. At the same time, wasn't he a Mike McGeek shill? And now he's blaming Mike McGeek. I mean, it's just nonsense at this rate. Mike McGeek made Tua what he is. I'm letting you know, Tuaneers. If Mike McGeek gets fired, I don't see a way Tua stays. So you can go out there and say, oh, Mike McGeek this, Mike McGeek's the reason we lose. I mean, you can say what you want. I mean, to be honest with you, when Mike McGee came here, I thought I might have been wrong about Tua, and it was looking pretty good. I still think Tua is a solid quarterback. I don't think he's going to get us to where we want to be as a franchise. Maybe if he goes elsewhere, it works out. Again, I mean, yeah, I blame Tua on the last 2 games for the losses. I don't think he's the problem here in Miami. If he goes somewhere else, maybe he wins. and I wish them nothing but the best of luck, and then maybe these 2 years come and gloat us. But I think it's time to move on. New start, new coach, new GM, and even a new quarterback. If Tua succeeds, good for him. We wanted Tannehill to succeed. I'll be rooting for him to succeed. I just don't think it's going to work in Miami. And yeah, man, I've been called Larry. I mean, my Patriot fan said, Greg, you've been right since day one. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And it sucks. I was hoping I'd been wrong. And I thought I was wrong in 2023. And it didn't work out. And, you know, Larry, I mean, some people might call me a hypocrite saying if that was Joe Burrow in the last 2 games, or Lamar Jackson, or whoever you want to say, if they made those, like how we played on offense against Carolina and the Chargers, would you be blaming them, Greg? You would be blaming the defense. That is where you people are wrong. If that was Joe Burrow that threw 2 picks, I would be blaming him. And if Joe Burrow was making, I know I say 250 million, I got it wrong. It's 212 million with 100 something guaranteed. If that was Joe Burrow, you're damn right I would be blaming him. I wouldn't be blaming the O-line. And just like Tua, it's always we and everybody else's fault. And just like these 2 years, it's everyone else's fault. It's the O-line's fault. It's the D-line's fault. Special teams' fault. McGeek's fault. Chris Greer's fault. I'm done with the excuses. This is the same thing with Tannehill. I just want a fresh start. I can't do it no more. Yeah, on Twitter, I'll put out some statements and whatnot, my opinions rather, and then people will clap back. I'm not arguing. I'm disengaging. I'm putting out my statements, and I'm letting it ride because I'm done arguing. I just want a fresh start. I can't do it anymore. I want this team. I love this team. I want this team to win, especially hard in Patriot country. And I'm done, guys. I really am. I can't do it. No, I don't know how much longer I can do it, man.
Yeah, and so an old friend of the show, John, who was Deuce Goose, who doesn't really come up anymore, he commented on, I think, your rant, G, and he said, you know, after that Tennessee game, I gave up. I hate this team now. And it's like, I have a love-hate relationship. I mean, after that Tennessee game, same with me. That was the final time they let me down, the final time they stuck a nail in my heart. And I haven't really cared for this iteration of the team ever since. I mean, the way that this organization has morphed from a football team trying to build a winner into a marketing propaganda engine just to prop up, you know, players and a culture that's not working. They get rid of Vic Fangio. And remember all the shade that the Miami Dolphins organization threw at Vic Fangio? He was hard to work with. He was a clown. He didn't know how to put the right players in position. And you got guys kicking rocks in the parking lot, and they're getting away with that nonsense. And then Vic Fangio goes out, and what does he do? He wins a Super Bowl. And the Miami Dolphins are sitting here still sucking wind. And it's just this culture of coddle and this culture of excuse. I wrote this in my column, culture of coddle, right? It all runs through this player, Tagovailoa. It runs through his fan base and the fan base out there in Miami that wants to be coddled, that wants to be told that they're so great and that everything's going to be fine. These guys out here like Big O and these other media figures that go out there and say these things. This is the reason we have what we have. And at the end of the day, and look, Eric says, I can't believe I'm actually rooting against this team, but I have been.
Me too,
of
Eric.
course, because I want to change, right,
Yeah.
G? I want it to end. I want a high draft pick.
And Larry, going back to your point, the coddling right set by the Tua fans and the Tua. I was in a Twitter space yesterday. Some Tua near came up and on the space and said, "We need a culture change. We need to go get a hard-nosed head coach." Do you guys want to know who was a hard-nosed head coach? Brian Flores, and you all ran him out of town, and now you want to fire McGeek to go get a hard-nosed head coach. I'm letting you know right now. We go out and get, let's say, a Rex Ryan, for example. Tua's going to be – we're going to be running – you 2 years will be running him out of town. I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know, man.
Yeah, and I want to just address some things that I've been seeing out there, and then I want to play a clip, and then we'll take some calls one by one. Look, first and foremost, there was some reporting out there that, you know, Stephen Ross is happy with his coach. He has big expectations for his coach, and he's not in a rush to fire his coach. And people are taking that as construing that, oh, they're going to get rid of Tua, they're going to get rid of Greer, and McDaniel is going to have a chance to pick his guy next time. If that happens, I would be absolutely flabbergasted. If that happens, I would be beside myself. I don't expect that to happen. I think what happened was in the offseason, if Ross was going to stick with Mike McDaniel but move on from other guys, I think Ross would have fired Chris Grier. There was a lot of argument in that realm. A lot of these narrative spinners like the Big O's of the world and them would have probably let him get away with it, even though Big O's been targeting McDaniel more and more. There would have been an opportunity for him to get rid of Chris Grier and keep Mike McDaniel, but he chose not to. And I told you then, and I'm telling you now, I am not a fan of Stephen Ross. I have not been a fan of Stephen Ross for a long time. But I think that was one of the best decisions Ross has made, because firing a GM and letting McDaniel stick around is the same type of back and forth that we're used to that's not effective. I think the reason he did not fire either of them in the offseason was that he's going to let them sink or swim together. If they fail, he's going to clean house. Everybody's gone. There is another faction saying, well, Tua's here no matter what. He's safe no matter what. He's safe no matter what. Bro, the salary is safe no matter what. Our dead cap space is going to be dead cap space no matter what. But teams have, and we can still cut him and move on from him if a new regime thinks the experiment has ended. Now, maybe he stays here one more year, but it's not necessarily set in stone. So I don't think that Mike McDaniel sticking around. I want people to understand this. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again right now. There are a lot of people that act like they're on your side in this media sphere. They act like they believe in the fans. They act like they're down to ride with the fans. And they say, because I believe in the fans, because the fans are sick of this, you've got to fire Mike McDaniel. And they're not on your side. I want to explain something to you. When they're trying to get rid of Mike McDaniel, it's not for the fans. It's not because, I heard some guys today, oh, there's still hope. We can still win. We can still do things. You got to fire Mike. No. What you want to do is get the highest draft pick possible. What you want to do is get assets and trade away guys who still have a demand in the market and build up assets. You don't want to fire your head coach in the middle of the season so that you can get some fake temporary spark to win some meaningless games, to lower your draft position, and to give Ross an excuse and these fans and these Tuaneers an excuse to say, look, it wasn't Tua, it wasn't the team, it was McDaniel all along. You got to give him another chance. Guys, from 3 years ago, I've been telling you the chances are done. It's a show. First it was, you better win a playoff game. Then it was, it's a show me season. It's over now. No more excuses. No more of the same season. Not one more. Not a single another season can be had like this. And firing McDaniel and changing things around is nothing but a built-in excuse to keep the status quo going. It's got to end. I think Ross should keep him till the end of the year. I think the report saying he's patient just means he's going to be here till the end of the year, and then we're going to see a change. I hope. It's sad to say, but at this point, we're not going anywhere. Get the first pick. Get the second pick. If the New York Jets wind up with the first pick and then surpass us like the Patriots, you're all going to regret 1 or 2 wins for pride and protecting narratives.
Yep. I'll say this, Larry. This fan base is a mess. A lot of people are calling for Chris Grier and Mike McGeek's job. A lot of people want Grier gone before Mike. I'll say this. The Titans, they're a terrible team right now. They fired their coach midseason. What will that do? A lot of people yesterday was like, it's ugly do-wrong out there putting out Stephen Ross's letter. A lot of people are like, what are we doing? Why are we not doing it? I'm with Larry. I want McGeek gone. I want Christopher gone. But I'm fine with letting this run till the end of the year, because I don't want those excuses for Tua, bro. I don't. The earliest depending on how we lose to the Browns, like if Dylan Gabriel puts up like 30 points and we lose like maybe 30-0, or maybe we just something we just lose, maybe you could see a firing, because Cleveland's also bad and Dylan Gabriel's also a bum. I'm sorry, him and Tua should be they're not franchise quarterbacks. I'm sorry. But it may be Cleveland, like I said in my rant, maybe depending on how we lose, we could see a firing. I don't think we see McGeek fired or maybe Christopher fired until maybe Madrid. I think if you fire Chris Grier, and we're going to be bad anyways, who's going to make the trades, guys? Is it going to be Brandon Shore or Tom Garfinkel? I'd rather keep Chris Grier till the trade deadline. Maybe he makes trades and then maybe fire him. But again, I honestly don't think Chris Grier. I think Chris Grier might be staying. If he's going to make these trades, because he can go to Ross and be like, I got all these picks. We're going to move off Tua. We're going to use these assets. Go get a franchise quarterback. I'll work with the head coach. Like Chris Grier could spin this in a way and be like, hey, this clown wanted to go pay this bum. I mean, Chris Greer, I think he's safe, honestly. I mean, it would shock me if Chris Greer gets fired at this rate. I think he's safe. I don't think Chris Greer is going anywhere. So you guys can cry all you want. I think he's safe. Again, Ross could shock me and he fires them both. I do think McGeek is probably more likely gone than Chris Greer, if I should say that.
Yeah,
but is
look, I
Ross
think-
at the same time, is Ross going to be like, I gave you so many opportunities to fix this and you haven't? Maybe that's what Ross is thinking if Greer goes to him with that nonsense, but I don't know.
Look, I think there's a one, we don't know what really happens behind closed doors, and I have a feeling that Ross is much more involved in the day-to-day stuff than he lets on. And it's not all Chris Greer just screwing up. It's also Ross involved in screwing up. So I guess there's a situation where Greer really wasn't the one who made all these decisions, and therefore he's not the one with his ass on the line. I still think it's more likely that that Greer and McDaniel go together, and I think that Tua is shortly after them. I think that's just the most logical thing. I think it's hard for Ross to get around doing that. I do think that it would be a slap in the face to intelligent fans, yet it's going to be what most Pollyanna podcasters who hustle and clicks, and most of the media that hustles and clicks, and most of the secret tuaneers who, the guys who come up on every podcast and they say, I don't like them. Get rid of them if you want. But, like those guys,
Yeah.
they're all secretly hoping that McDaniel is fired after a
Yep.
bad loss to, say, the Browns. And here's the reason why. If Ross fires McDaniel after a bad loss, what he's essentially doing is he's participating in the lies and nonsense, because that's him saying, I just can't take it anymore. I'm getting rid of that guy, McDaniel. When in reality, the reason the whole team is in shambles and the whole team sucks is not just because McDaniel's doing this terrible job. It's because you saddled them with a quarterback who ain't going to get it done, a GM who brings in injured players, lets his best guys walk, and misses on everybody else. You chased one of the best D coordinators out of town. There's a whole bunch of things that this organization is getting wrong day in and day out. And to throw up your hands after a loss and say, that's it, you're gone, McDaniel, is a misnomer to put it all on McDaniel. And so that's why I don't want – and look, G, knowing the nature of the league, the nature of the media, everybody in the national media, they're saying it too. Oh, this guy's got to go. If they remember a year ago, I want people to remember this. Remember a year ago when everybody in the media and everybody in Dolphins land was saying, well, it all just comes down to Tua staying healthy. That's what it comes down to. I mean, if he stays healthy, it runs through him. He's got to stay healthy. When he's on the field, they're 20-0. And when he's off the field, they're 0-20. Now all of a sudden, the graphics on the broadcast are like, look, Tua, 1-7 against winning teams, 7-1 against losing teams. Hey, I've been saying that. We've all been saying that for years. And you guys were sticking to your bullshit narrative about, it's when Tua's on the field, when Tua's off the field. Now all of a sudden they got to let this guy McDaniel go. One more loss, and this guy, he's got to go. No. Ross needs to not follow the media's nonsense. You all need to not get duped and follow the media's nonsense. And you need to hold tight, lose out if you need to, fire them all as a package deal, come out in a press conference and announce, look, at the end of the day, we had to start over. This was not what I wanted to build. Chris Greer had my full faith and confidence. He started from scratch. We thought we were on the right track. We drafted the quarterback. All you fans wanted us to tank for Tua. It didn't work. Garfinkel over here, I don't know, he's doing logos, or to sit him to the side, and I'm going to hire some new guy. It's probably going to suck anyway because I'm Stephen Ross and I suck at my job. But I'm going to hire somebody new. We're going to start over. That's the only thing he can do. And the rest of it is nonsense. And Phil, member of the channel, again, thank you for your support. Can't call in tonight. Got to put the kids to bed, but just wanted to say thank you for the hat. And everyone in the chat, consider joining the channel and get one for yourself. Cheers, fam. And Phil, I really appreciate that. Phil did get some swag because he's a longtime Fury fan member. Join the channel and get access to the written column, behind the scenes videos, and get some free swag. Phil, you're much appreciated, brother. I'm glad you're enjoying that swag out there. Gee, what do you want to say? Because then what I'm going to do.
What I want to say is, oh, really? Okay. I just saw an ESPN thing, a notification I'm upset about. I'm not going to rant about that. That's involving, we're not going to talk about it. I just started the news, but anyway, about the World Cup. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. Oh, no. What I was saying is everyone on Twitter, like Omar Kelly and a bunch of these two people, are always posting like pictures and stuff saying that's Tua's fault. Listen, it's not Tua's fault. Yes, Jalen Phillips should have made the sack. Yes, Zach Seiler should have ran into the punter. Yes, Chris Greer should have drafted other guys over other guys. Yes, McGeek should do better at his job at calling plays. Everything's not Tua's fault. So I don't know what we're doing here. Like, I'm blaming Tua for the losses because our offense and the Chargers and the Panthers have looked piss poor. Up when I believe going to the fourth quarter, weren't we down like 10 points going to the fourth quarter? Tua had 2 picks, one in the first half that I will admit that wasn't his fault, but the second one was
the Waddle one was not his fault.
Yeah,
the other one was.
I couldn't see the pick.
And don't forget all the overthrows.
The overthrows,
missing guys.
Yeah, and like I didn't see it was off Waddle's hands. I saw the highlights because I was driving home from work, so I thought it Tua just threw it right to the guy. Oh, great, Boston. Bregman opted out with the Red Sox, but that's a different story for another day. That's upsetting for me as a Red Sox fan, and we're not talking Dolphins. Everyone's blaming. I mean, it's not always Tua's fault. I'm blaming him for losses because our offense is our best unit. Our defense sucks, and if you want an elite quarterback like a Patrick Mahomes and whatnot, we can make a list. They can overcome a bad defense. Tua can't. And also with the Jets, I'm Jets fans. You may be smiling now, laughing right now. You were the first one to play. Don't worry, Jets. You'll find a way to botch it. You're going to win 2 games. You're going to win. You're going to beat us, and you're going to find a way. You'll probably beat the Bills again. You don't. Yeah, Jet fans, smile right now. Yes, we're misery brothers. We're brothers and sisters because we're in misery. But you guys will find a way to botch it, man. You're going to find a way to botch it.
Yes, and look, I want to play this other clip. This is Devin McCourty, Rutgers Devin McCourty, Patriots Devin McCourty, reacting to what Tua said. I just want to put it out there. And then I did drop the link. If you guys want to call in, we'll take a few calls tonight, just one at a time. Get your thoughts and then hop off, take the next caller. So the link is there. If you want to join us and talk, click that link and call in. But here's what Devin McCourty had to say about Tua's comments in his press conference.
End of this game too.
Unbelievable, I think, for Justin Herbert to be in that moment and make that play. We all know Miami's not a good football team, but that Chargers team, they needed that win today, and Herbert willed it.
Meanwhile, Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins, they could have used a win, but he had this to say after a tough loss.
We have guys showing up to player-only meetings late, guys not showing up to player-only meetings. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. Do we have to make this mandatory? Do we not have to make this mandatory? It's a lot of things of that nature that we got to get cleaned up, and it starts with the little things like that.
Well, you can see Tua Tagovailoa. Those are some strong words about accountability and your team. I mean, what's your reaction, and how would you react to that if you were in the locker room?
I hated every bit of that. Really? I played in New England with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, and Coach Belichick used to talk about when you have true leadership, it doesn't need to be talked about. So if there's a problem, Tua, you're a captain on this team, you're the quarterback. Go handle it. Don't sit there in front of a camera and talk to media members about guys messing up. Get in the locker room, call those guys out by name. If confrontation happens, that happens sometimes. But I think to come and air out your dirty laundry and let everybody know that there's a problem. We know there's a problem. You're not winning football games. Go fix it in-house. Handle it that way. I think that's true leadership.
And look, so I want to bring up really quickly before we take these callers, that's exactly what I said earlier on. I said Tua even saying, we got to figure out what we need from the guys. This isn't what the leaders talk about. That shows that he doesn't know how to lead. You just lead by example. You just get things done. You don't fish for, well, I don't know what we should do. Maybe we should make things mandatory. Maybe we should do this, bro. They should be showing up and respecting you from jump because you're the quarterback, you're the leader. And if they're not showing you that respect and they're not showing you that lockstep toward the vision, then you call them out in-house, you call them out behind the scenes, and you let it be known. You don't call it out in the media and try to explain it that way. I'm just saying. And Samoan POV is quickly saying, what if you trade Tua to the Jets for Quinnen Williams and Ahmad Gardner? Ain't nobody taking Tua.
Nope.
Maybe he'll unload his salary. I
would
get
be
what you're
a
saying,
fleece,
Samoan.
Larry.
He's saying we take those salaries, they take his salary, but it ain't happening.
That would be
first
a
and seven,
fleece.
bro.
We get Ahmad Gardner and Quinn. That's a fleece in my eyes.
No one wants Tua because he's going to get cut and he's going to get a lesser salary because we're paying him. I'm telling you right now, no one's trading for Tua.
And Larry, if the Jets right now, they have the number 1 pick, still yet to be determined. If the Jets have the number 1 pick, either they might stick with Fields, maybe Aaron Glenn has a Jared Goff moment, but I highly doubt it. They're probably taking a quarterback. We need to stop this. I heard someone else say, if we cut Tua tomorrow, and who would be 3 teams to go get him? Someone said the Falcons, that the Falcons should give Tua $50 million. After last night, are we sure that the Falcons would give Tua $50 million? Come on, stop this nonsense. The Jets ain't. I guarantee you cut Tua tomorrow, he gets 0 offers.
Samoan, they want Justin Fields out, but they don't want Tua. Trust me,
they don't want Tua.
Fans. The only people that want Tua that think he's great are Dolphins fans. Everybody else is not convinced on him. You got to learn that.
I hate to say this, but if Drake May or Josh Allen were to tear the ACL this week, I guarantee you they wouldn't even come calling for Tua. And it's a little dark, but if Josh Allen and Drake May, something bad happened, they're not calling for Tua. I'm telling you right now.
No, they're not.
And I don't want Josh Allen or Drake May to get hurt. I'm just using that as a point.
No, I get it. Lakers, what's on your mind, man?
Yo, what's up?
What's good, bro? What's on your mind?
Hey, this is crazy, y'all. Like, this is something how it's crazy how everything just goes right back to what Brian Flores was talking about from the jump. You know what I'm saying? Like what he was trying to build with the Lakers with the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? Brian Flores was trying to build leadership. He was trying to bring a defense to his team. He was trying to hold these guys accountable. He had a Super Bowl ring, so he knows what to do. He was trying to bring a freaking rookie quarterback that can run and that can throw the ball. He was trying to bring everything that we had. I mean, everything that he knows to the Dolphins, and somehow, some way, we just let that go by, and now we got Mr. Substitute Teacher and Mr. Mike McDaniels. that Loki, if you realize it, he wasn't even the 49ers head coach, right? He only was.
He was only the run game coordinator.
Yes. So he's saying how do you bring Mike McDaniels to a team that has Tyreek Hill, right? That doesn't even have Tyreek Hill yet. But how do you bring Mike McDaniels to a team that he never coached before? You know, you just gonna bring him in blind? You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. And then now, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, now it's this year. And now it's like, you know what I'm saying? Now look, everybody's seeing what TD been talking about, what P been talking about, what you been talking about, what Loki Brian Flores been talking about for the longest. And now it's coming full circle. And it's just crazy how it's Mike McDaniel, it's the GM, it's Greer, and it's Tua. That's the problem right there. And Mike McDaniel. Go ahead.
What I'm going to say is I think you're bringing up a valid point. It talks about this culture of coddle that we have. They chased Brian Flores out of town because he wasn't coddling enough to this generation of players, especially Tua. And they bring Mike McDaniel in, who's the substitute teacher that you talk about, because he was here to be Tua's cheerleader. That was his primary purpose. That's the only reason they brought him in, to maximize Tua's skill set with his speed-based timing offense and to cheerlead him and give him all this encouragement to let the fan base buy in and buy more jerseys to get more hype. So I totally agree with you, bro. That's why he's here, and it's not working.
Yeah, and the Tua aspect is like, bro, like what he said about the locker room, stuff like that. That's not good for him, because guess what? These are grown men that has families that has kids, that has wives, that low key pay. You know what I'm saying? Like they're men. They're not over here
Yes.
talking about what's going on in the locker room. They're mature. They're not going to be talking about what's going on in the locker. They're not women. They're not soft. They're not going to be talking about, oh, you know, so like what he says, she says, she said. Do y'all okay, let's go back for a second. Okay. When Tua talked about um Tyreek Hill, right? And talked about the locker room. And now he goes back and now he talks about the players again, the locker room again, and what they're not doing again, but he's not holding himself accountable. Do you know that those players hear that twice? And these are grown men that we're talking about. These are no high school players. These are grown men that will freaking jack you up in the locker room and 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 tell you something about yourself. And I'm
Yeah.
surprised it probably didn't happen. It maybe did, but but you know, like some it's crazy how like these players they're probably tired of they're low key tired of him. They're not going to say it because do you know what I'm saying? They're not going to say it to nobody, but to their wives or whatever, they might say it to them. You know what I'm saying?
No, I
Or
do. And listen, you saw when
Mhm,
they I think they asked Aaron Brewer or they asked Brooks or somebody later,
mhm.
they said, "Did you hear what Tua said?" And they said, "We're not going to comment on that, bro. That's
Yeah.
in house." So they don't even, to your point about being grown
Well,
men, they're not going to do this in the media like some gossip,
Yeah. Gossip
Oxygen
queen.
Network, whatever nonsense out here, Bravo Network drama. They're going to
Hmm.
keep it in house, but they even if they don't yoke them up in the locker room, even if they don't say anything, they're losing respect. They're just going to carry themselves away from him.
Yeah,
apparently, Larry,
and what they
I'm sorry
probably
to
going
cut
to
you off,
do is
Lakers. I don't know if you can hear me
they're
enough.
not going to block for him. Probably some O line not going to block for him. They're not going to. They're probably not going to like talk to him, and
Yeah.
he's going to be like, "Oh, why are y'all being mean to me because of what you said?" You know what I'm saying? Like these are men. They don't have to talk to you. They don't have to do this. They don't have to do that. But
Yes.
you're not leading. You're okay. Look, let me see this. Let me see this. Look, the two leaders on the team is the head coach, right? Because because he's around the players and he's a head coach. Second leader should be the quarterback because the quarterback is the point guard of the team that hands the ball to the running back, that hands the ball, that throws the ball to the wide receivers, that galvanizes the team. Okay, Larry. There's a video on TikTok or Twitter with Bryce Young galvanizing his players and making and telling his players, let's go, let's do this. He's being that leader that we don't have.
Yes.
Yes, you need to go watch that video. You're gonna be like, dang, bro,
I already know, but I will. Yeah.
yeah, it's Bryce Young, and it's like you see the difference. Like you don't see Tua doing that. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? And it's sad how how Tua been here for this long, 6 years now, 5 years now, and he's still playing crash. He's still throwing interceptions. He's doing this. He's still doing that. When some people in the organization don't see this, but the only person that did see this was was Brian Flores, and people now they're realizing it. Some people are, but it's just sad how like the GM doesn't see it,
No, I
but.
agree. I
Mhm.
agree. G, what were you going to say? Hold on. What G? What was your point?
So
Yeah,
apparently,
go ahead.
Tua's been
Hey,
lying
Greg, I
about what he
can't hear
said.
you. I don't know if you have your thing
Can't
on
hear you.
mute or
Oh, he
yeah, I
can't
can't
hear
hear
me.
you. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I can
okay.
hear Larry, but I can't hear Greg.
I
Should I
can
drop
hear
out?
G. G.
No,
Should I
I
drop
can't
out
hear
and come
him.
back?
Yeah, probably come in and come back.
All
Yeah,
right, hold on 1 second.
but hey, Larry, what's crazy? So how the Browns are doing Shador Sanders, right? Like they're, I don't know if they might not play him this year or not, but if they don't play him, right, and Shador wants to leave, I think we need to go get a new head coach and go get Shador and go get another quarterback in the draft.
No, I think we should definitely get another quarterback in the draft. I don't know what this team is going to
Now
do.
I can't hear Larry.
You
I
can't
don't
hear
know
me
what's
now?
going on, y'all. No, I
What?
can't hear. But yeah, I can't hear you now.
G, can
It
you hear
might,
me?
I can hear
Okay,
you, Larry. It might be
okay,
a
now
Lakers issue then, maybe.
okay. I think I gotta come back and come in. You think?
Maybe.
Okay, all
Go
right.
ahead, G. What happened?
So apparently, Tua has been lying about this whole situation. If you guys go to TD FinTalk's Twitter, He posts. There's a video going from an account called Tua at Dolphin for Life, and apparently there's a woman on this show, and she has an inside info to the Dolphins locker room, I guess you can say. And apparently Tua's been lying about people not showing up to these player meetings. When I can't really explain the clip because I got to go back and watch it. But Larry, I would say show it for the show. But there's some vulgar language in it. I don't know if you want to watch it on your own time or whatnot.
Who's saying it? Who's in the video?
It's some girl. I don't know her name. Yeah, it's some girl. I don't know who she is. Apparently, it's on It Is What It Is show. I have never heard of this. I don't know how true it is. Maybe she's.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe she just BSing.
Like I don't know. I just
like who is she? Like who is she to know?
I don't know
that?
who she is, but I see Doug quote tweeted it and TD quote tweeted it, and he said was Tua lying ? Sources say they don't know what Tua's talking about, and he added Pupar and Omar and Doug.
Well, I'm curious about who that is because
I don't know who she is.
People,
this is the first time I've seen her.
They're click hunting, man, and be posting some stuff, and you're like, "What are you talking about?" It's like some girl in a room. Now, maybe it's a girlfriend of somebody or somebody legitimate. I don't know who it is. I'll do that research though, and I will try to find out who that was, and see if we could verify whether it's legitimate or not. Because I'm curious about that. G.
Apparently, she has a show called All 32. Again, this is the first. I don't know how true it is. I don't know if I should
send me the. Can you send me the link on my text message and I'll look at it right now?
Hold on, wait, what happened? What happened?
G's saying that there's somebody that everybody's tweeting saying Tua's lying about people not making meetings or whatever. But I'm trying to see if the individual saying that is actually credible. Or
Yeah, I just saw that TD. He said. Somebody just said that, right? Like when y'all was talking, when I just came on and I saw when I was talking, I didn't look up, but he said, was Tua lying? Sources say they don't know what Tua is talking about.
Yeah, I wonder who that source is. That's what I'm most curious about. Like, who is that source? Like, it could be, is it somebody credible or is it just somebody, saying, all right, G, I got your text. Let me take a look at it. Was Tua lying? Source says Tua has officially lost the locker room. Insider from all 32 NFL to a press conference. Who is this?
It's crazy because I have an inside source on the Dolphins.
Dan, it does have vulgar language. I just want to let you know.
No, that's why I'm looking at it. Oh, so I actually heard so just so you to give some context to this, I had been listening to WQAM today and Channing Crowder on the radio show. Channing Crowder had said, I don't know what he's talking about because a players only meeting is when you really have something hitting the fan and the leaders council of the team has to call a players only meeting. He said, but when we just got ready for Sundays and we were just getting prepped, then we would just meet without coaches and watch film and whatnot. So he's like, you only had like 2 players only meetings the whole time I was at the Dolphins, which was several years, because that's only when things are really crazy. He said, so Tua might be misspeaking when he's talking about players only meetings. He might just be talking about film review and getting in the position group meetings to watch film. And it seemed to me like she was just repeating what Channing Crowder had said, in my opinion, saying she had an inside source. It sounded like Channing Crowder's comments today on WQAM were, and Perkins came on and they were talking and whatever that show is, I think that's what she meant. Like, players only meetings are serious things that are called when the team is struggling or whatever. And this was probably more like just general meetings. And it looks different because you're thinking that they're calling a players only meeting. I mean, if you miss that, you really don't care about anything. But perhaps this was just more run-of-the-mill meetings he's talking about in general, that the team is sloppy. They're sloppy with each other. And that just shows me they don't respect each other. They don't respect the coach. They don't respect the mission. I can't even blame them because the team is this season. we all knew was a waste. The fact that Ross brought everybody back to run it back with the roster
Mhm.
the way it is, with what we already know, it was not necessary from jump. We already know they failed and it wasn't going to happen. So it's just kind of crazy. It's just really kind of crazy.
Yeah, but Larry, to like, well, like, to like people listen. What I go back is Brian Flores, because Brian Flores had a when he came in the building with the Dolphins, he had one thing on his mind. He wants to have this team to develop, right? He
Mhm.
wants to have a no nonsense team, right? He's gonna bring his defense, right? He's gonna bring his leadership, and Loki, he had the TNT wall. But guess what? If you be late or if you do something, you're gonna go ahead and run to that wall and come back.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That was his philosophy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And his toughness as in tough nose coach, that was his thing too. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like he probably cared for the guys, but he just wanted them to be tough and work hard and know that, you know what I'm saying, like that's all he wants you to do is just win games, play hard, be a leader, and go home to your family.
Yeah.
And but guess what? Our quarterback didn't see that. Our quarterback thought Brian Flores was being rude, nasty, being mean to him, but he wasn't. He was just trying to show him that that Flores had a plan for him. That listen, I want you to do this, this, and this, and this, and everything's gonna work together. But you're not. But he didn't see that. All he saw was somebody being rude to him,
Yeah.
somebody saying this and that, and then guess what happened? He went to go cry to the owner and talk about, oh, I want Brian Flores gone. And what happened? Brian Flores gone, and we got Mike McDaniel's in here that doesn't know anything.
Yeah, look, I mean, at the end of the day, it was all about coddling to her, in my opinion. And this is where
Mm-hmm.
we've gotten. And it's time to turn the page and just start it over altogether, in my
Got
opinion.
to.
Yeah. Lakers, I'm going to hop off because I'm going to hop off in general and close the show in a minute. But thank you for coming on, my brother. It was really good
Hey,
talking to you.
no problem.
Yeah, we're
Hey,
going to take calls every now and then with these shows, man. So, Lakers, bro,
all
any
right.
any last thing to say?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I don't know. I mean, are you watching any like college football? Because these quarterbacks. Because I like a quarterback that's his name's Taylor Green. He's plays for Arkansas. He's
Mm-hmm.
6'6". He's a mobile quarterback. He can run and throw. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we need to
Keep our
go.
eyes there. All right, bro. We're gonna
There,
start talking about that too. I'm eyeing some of them. I hope we get a high pick and we can make
yeah.
it happen because it's time
All
to
right,
change,
bet.
brother.
We got to. We got to.
All right, brother. Talk to you
All right, well,
later.
have a good one, man.
Later, Lakers. You too. Artie, you're the last call. So what's up, my brother?
Larry, it's been a long time, bro.
Yeah, real long time, bro. What's up?
I remember a couple of years back, we were talking about Tua and McDaniels, and we had legitimate hope and legitimate concerns. But I went to Miami back in 2023 December. I was at the stadium during the Tennessee game when we were up 2 touchdowns, 15 points or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this, and I was really close to like the sideline and everything. So I got to see Tua, and I'm like, this guy does not look like a quarterback, man. Like you
Yeah.
just get to be that. Like I'm like, this guy looks very freaking awkward. Like there is nothing. Like I remember everyone compares him to Drew Brees, but like Drew Brees was a quarterback. When he would sit down and you would talk to him,
Yes.
you could tell that he's a quarterback. Like when you would see tape on him in clutch moments throughout games in December, in the playoffs, again and again and again, from different angles, different teams, even in college, you just see a guy take command of a game, take command of the team, the play calling, call the blitzes. Like everything about him looked like a franchise quarterback. With Tua, it's been this guy that every time he makes a play, you're kind of thinking, okay, everything worked to perfection. Like that
Right.
that
Yes.
that
Yes.
throw was
It's
in
all
rhythm.
timing. It looks great when he
Right,
just doesn't think, doesn't
right.
have to do anything physical and just lets it fly. That's when it looks great. And they admit it. They're like, oh, the timing. He got it out so quick. it's when the play works by itself, basically, and he just got to
Right.
put it somewhere based on time.
I mean, that's it. Like he drops back, he doesn't have to think much. He just throws it on a dime and it works. I just saw the highlights of because I stopped watching the games. I just watched the highlights because I can't sit 3 hours to see McDaniels and Tua coexist together. I'm like, it's torture. It's like watching the Jets. It's the worst thing you could possibly do. And I'm watching, and I mean, he's known Waddle for so long, and he's made these plays in the past. And Waddle like breaks, and then Waddle has to slow down, and then he has to restart. That first interception, Waddle stopped because the ball should have been out. And then Waddle ran again because he threw it late. And then he had to reach to get the ball, and he was fumbling it. I'm like, the rhythm is gone. Like Tua's strength from the last 2 years, that has regressed. Let it, like this guy regresses he hasn't ascended since 2022, right? To be completely honest with you, once he got that injury in 2022, once the I would say 2023, the stupid Chargers game. Since that opening game, and you can also make the argument that the Denver Broncos game was really good as well, right? Since that Broncos game, every game has been a regression. Remember, because they went to Buffalo after that and they got smoked. For the team,
Oh yeah, I mean he has not done anything even remotely similar to that Denver Broncos game. That was the high point and the pinnacle, and Mike McDaniel could have had the record at that point.
right, and he
Decided
was
not to.
humbled.
That was
He
stupid.
was humbled.
Yeah, because that was going to be the highlight of all of their careers.
Right.
That record, they would have had that record, and they would have been fine. But
It would have
they
been a
just couldn't
Dolphin
do it.
record. It wouldn't have been their record. It would have been a Dolphin. They took it away from the Dolphins. Like these
Yeah,
guys
that
haven't
too. Yeah, you're
contributed
right.
nothing to the Dolphins to be remembered for.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. Could have at least been remembered for that record
Right.
and that game. There's such losers. You're right. That would have been a Dolphins
They're
record.
like, no,
Right.
no, we don't want to win. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
That was
They
such
don't
a
care about
silly thing.
destroying the feelings of the fan base that they haven't had anything to cheer for since Dan Marino retired. They've had nothing. Like I started watching the Dolphins first time in my life in the 2000s, right? But I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was a 10-year-old, an 11-year-old. I had no idea, Just like football was new to me. I'm like, I'm picking them because of the logo. I figured out later on that the Dolphins were good in the past, the 70s. They had Dan Marino, all these legends. By the way, the
Oh
U
yeah, I
is
saw
back.
them in the 90s when they were real good. Yes.
Right. So the U is back now, right? So back then the U was good as well. So I'm like, yo, Miami knows. And by the way, Miami to this day, South Florida, that's where a lot of the talent comes from in the NFL anyway.
Yeah.
Like the
No, it's true.
solid talent. Like the Dolphins, I mean, the Heat have won. The Panthers are a dynasty right now, live. Like there's a lot of, Miami, like Inter Miami has Messi and all that shit. It's still a Dolphins crowd. Like it's still like I've visited Miami. I got relatives over there. I live in Toronto, but it's still a Dolphins crowd. Like the Dolphins can't wait to be good again. It's just these guys have given them nothing.
No, I agree. And
it's
bro,
been the worst
let me hop
franchise.
off because we got Mounty in the back studio, so we'll take another call. But I agree with you, bro, and I appreciate you calling in and expressing those thoughts because I agree. It's great to hear from you. It's been a while, man. Call back in soon.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Larry. You take care, brother.
Later, guys. Mounty, what's up, brother? It's been a minute, man. How are you?
Larry. Greg, how you doing, man? How y'all doing?
How are you, brother? What's up?
Doing good. We don't have to watch Dolphins play till Sunday.
Man, I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna take a lot of time, but I'm gonna just tell you this. As you can see right now, we're a dumpster fire. We there's no leadership in the building. Tua has alluded to that. I basically took the writing on the wall when Vic Fangio. I mean, this is one of the most prominent defensive minds that's ever coached in this league. Who left this game because of discipline problems and commitment problems. So, and he didn't necessarily name names. However, he basically did the same thing that Tua just did. There's discipline problems. There's leadership problems.
Yes.
We
Good
got
point.
Jalen Ramsey, who also wanted out of here.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted to be the first thing smoking out of here.
You're
There's
right.
discipline problems. So I look, as much as cerebral as Mike McDaniel is, and you know how much of an offensive mind he might be, he's not. And I had this premonition early that he's not ready to be a head coach. He doesn't have the resume. He hasn't shown that he can develop players. He can be that guy. And then when you're coming in and dealing with a young team, you got a young quarterback. His focus was too much on Tua, and he has to understand that he's a leader of 53 guys, not one guy.
Yes. Good point.
So
Yes.
and for some reason I'm thinking that he pretty much got that. He when he took the job, that was going to be his focus, is to fix Tua, to get Tua to where he could be serviceable in this league. And he lost focus of my responsibility is 52 plus 1. Okay? He lost sight of everything. He's a head coach, not a positional coordinator.
Bro, you're right about
And then
that.
secondly,
Yeah, you're right.
And secondly, listen, this is where we are. I mean, everything is water under the bridge. This is what hurt. This is what disgusts me. And I told you guys, we talked about this years ago at 19 when we drafted Tua. I said, first of all, and I'm thinking now, mind you, Larry, I'm thinking in the minds of a businessman. Ross, you're drafting a guy number 5 overall. This guy's just came off a potentially career-ending injury, hip injury.
Yes. Hip.
So,
yeah.
I'm thinking, but also at the time, Tua had the highest grossing sales in the country over Patrick Mahomes. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking maybe from a business sense. Okay, maybe Ross. Maybe I need to I may need to hedge my bet. I may need to, if he gets hurt, but he still makes me money.
I think that is what happened. I think that the fans, they keep talking in the media about Tank for Tua as if it was a top-down thing. It was organic. It was fans. It was these people that were obsessed with him that were pushing that whole Tank for Tua thing. And Ross bought into it because when he couldn't get Burrow, he's like, the next best thing I can do is make the fans happy, buy the hype, sell the jerseys. And I agree with you, Mountie. This team should have changed its name when they brought McDaniel in from the Dolphins to the Tuaneers, because they brought McDaniel in order to emphasize and maximize the marketability and hype machine of Tua Tagovailoa, because Flores and all them weren't doing it. And his primary objective was to make him look good. That just like bringing Tyreek Hill in. Now, I'll say this. They had a really good roster in 23. They had a chance to actually make some noise. So they broke the bank to get Chubb and these guys in here to make a run. But the run fell short because McDaniel and Tua couldn't get it done against good teams down the stretch. And that was the end of it after that season. The salaries hit the fan, and that was it. So I agree with you.
But that's when kind of and see, here's the thing with that situation. See, now Tua is starting to voice himself and be more boisterous about what's going on and things of that nature. But see, the thing is this: you expect, and particularly Sunday, dude, you threw 3 picks, potentially 4. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. The one that Waddle, he bobbled it, but you threw almost 4. You almost 3 picks on your own. Okay. If you notice, what's his name? Who picked him off at the end of the game? Derwin James.
Yes,
Derwin James. If we don't forget, Derwin James almost picked him off twice, but it just went right through his hands. Remember that?
Yes, I do. Yes.
See, and then the last pick, Derwin James could have took that back for 6.
Oh,
but
yeah. Derwin James could have took that to the house and screwed bettors over.
Yeah, exactly.
Dolphins plus 4.5, but he didn't.
Exactly. So, and see, here's the thing: is this, And when the Tuaniers try to prop him up to, well, he's still a decent. Well, I'll tell you what. Look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has had injury history since he came in the league. Okay, I can bet you. I can bet you my life savings that Joe Burrow's if they were to dangle him in a draft in a trade scenario, his value is still higher than Tua's based on what he's accomplished.
Of course. And his
now what makes us sick is the fact that we're on the hook for $213 million for a quarterback that's maybe worth a 4th-round draft pick.
Really not good. I don't even know if he's worth that, bro.
It may be a conditional draft pick.
Yeah, he's a starter in this league. I'm not going to knock him that hard. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he's not. We're paying exercising. That's the other thing, Mountie. All that talk that we were talking, like, yo, let him play on his 5th-year option. If he does so good, we'll pay him. It'll be worth it because he's good. If not, whatever, we'll get out of it. We won't have it hanging over our head. And all these people, including Omar Kelly and all these other brigade of nonsense people, they're like, you got to pay him. What if he does good and you got to pay him more? That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. That was less likely to happen. Out of the 4 years he had played, he had been healthy and had a great year once, and he still didn't make get a win in the playoffs, and he still didn't go deep into the playoffs, and he still couldn't win the division. That was 1 out of 3, and you paid him instead of making him play on his 5th-year option, and now we're paying for it figuratively and literally. It's a joke. But it was all about Tua. That's what it was about.
And see the true test, like last year, the true test when we played Buffalo. Was it the year before when we had 3 turnovers, and he couldn't capitalize on neither one. If you're an A1 day 1 quarterback, big time quarterback, I'm going to make you pay on at least 1/3 of those.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna get, and he could not do that. He doesn't bring enough to the table to be competitive in today's league because, well, one, he needs too much support around him. He's very expensive.
How many times, Mountie, have we heard Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen? They get less money because they know that they need guys around them to make it happen. They are better quarterbacks than Tua, yet they take less to pay the guys around them. This dude is extremely limited, and he wants more money, which makes the whole rest of the team suffer. And I see some guys in the chat saying, we got the worst D in the league. Sure, whatever, but what about the last 3, 4, 5 seasons when Tua couldn't get it done in crunch time, where he was injured, when he was throwing interceptions at the wrong time, when he wasn't clutch, when he was fumbling the ball every time he got sacked? What about that? And then, the market is whatever the market is. That's nonsense. The market is the market when you hit the market. This dude had a 5th-year option. You should have said the contract is the contract. You're going to play on it. How about that? I mean, I'm sick of hearing it.
Believe it or not, this is Tua's first year without an elite defense.
Yeah.
I mean, last year's D wasn't the best, but it was good enough to win games. This is Tua's first year without a really good defense, I guess we can say.
All right, mind you, how many games have we played thus far? 6.
Hold on.
6?
Yeah, and I want you to look at this. Go look at 2023 when you had a good team. Yeah, 2023 we had a good team. This dude choked against Tennessee, choked against the Chargers, choked in general, and then we lost in the playoffs at KC because we squandered a division lead and couldn't get a home playoff game. Yeah. I remember 2023. It ended in disaster because the dude isn't clutch in December. I know 2023.
And I don't want to hear about
and that's his best year.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about the injuries too. Because, if we had, again, a Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, you name it, they could overcome the injuries. We probably would have at least won a playoff game, maybe even had a home playoff game. I don't think with the injuries we had, we probably would have won a Super Bowl. I think we would have won at least a playoff game.
Yeah, bro, come on now. Let's just – look, I'm not saying it's all him and all that. The whole entire culture is messed up, but Tua is a big part of it. And the fact is, whether it's all on him or not, we built this entire – team around him, and it was the wrong move because he can't carry a team. There's never been a time, and people are talking about the defense and all this. Yes, when everything's perfect around him and the timing routes are working perfectly timed and he doesn't have to improvise and he doesn't have to innovate, and same goes for Mike McDaniel. When he doesn't have to improvise and he doesn't have to innovate, then he can do enough to keep it on an even keel and get to victories against losing teams. They just put the stats up the other day. He has a losing record against winning teams and a winning record against losing teams. And when he can do everything and everything goes as planned, sure, he can win some games if the defense plays really well. However, when you need him, just like any elite quarterback, did you see Joe Burrow? I want people to understand this. This wasn't just a defense choking. I mean, Justin Herbert. Did you see Justin Herbert in that game? He knocked the guy. First of all, before that, he almost got sacked and ran out of time, but he was able to heave the ball out of bounds to save the game because he got it down with some time on the clock. And then the next play, he was able to shake off a defender, throw him to the ground, and find the open receiver. And then the receiver was able to juke the secondary guy out of his shoes and get enough yards. You've seen Josh Allen do that time and time again. You saw Dan Marino do it. You saw Tom Brady do it. You saw all these guys do it. He can't do that. And if he can't do that, he shouldn't be eating up the bulk of the roster money and cap space if he can't carry a team once in a while. You could say this guy choked, that guy choked, the defense choked, all you want. You need your $50+ million player to put the team on his back once in a while, and he has never done it. Even this last game, everybody wants to talk about the last drive he had. It was so nice because they're listening to the commentators hype it up so they could sell more subscriptions to friggin' Hulu or whatever the next week to watch him. And, oh, he had a great drive. What about the 3 turnovers and 2 that were definitely his fault and all the overthrows before that? Stop already.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. When you're, and this is what I would caution all the other the fan bases and the people who follow sports, especially football. All the analytics are just not necessarily in the stat line or on tape. Remember how Justin Herbert, where he was sacked, he knew he was getting sacked,
yes,
but he had the presence of mind to get the ball away, to incomplete that pass, to stop the clock. Where Tua would have just taken the sack because he's done it time and time again on a big down or something like that. He'll take the sack rather than to throw the ball away to stop the clock.
Yes, and by the way, you guys see guys in the comments. Yeah, Mountie, there's guys in the comments saying, well, Herbert's a choker, this, that. Bro, I'm not saying Herbert's all good or Herbert's all that. What I'm saying is even a dude like Herbert outplayed Tua and is a better athlete and makes the type of plays that Tua can't make. Point blank, period. And they said, oh, he just made Phillips look like a bum. When has Tua made somebody look like a bum in that kind of situation? Never,
exactly.
Bro.
And let me tell you this for the record: Justin Herbert is a much better competitor than Tua. First of all, yeah, he's never won a playoff game, but it's kind of hard to win a playoff game when you put up 28, 30 points and your defense gives up 30 plus.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's a reason why his general manager and his head coach got fired. Dude, he puts up points. His defense lets him down. He had the bottom half, the bottom third of the league in defense since he's been there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just don't
imagine him having a great defense. They'd be unbeatable.
And what's funny is I'm not even sitting here saying Herbert is all that. I'm just saying Herbert is showing you what better, superior athletes can do on the field that Tua can't do. And if you can't physically do it, then you shouldn't be getting paid $50+ million and eating up all that cap space because you need help to help you succeed. And Tua doesn't care about getting help and winning. He cared about making the money. Show me the money. And the market is the market. It's all about him making money, not about winning. If he knew how to win, he would have taken less money because he knows his limitations. He didn't. So enough is enough. He just ain't going to get it done, you know?
Well, that's what 6'6", 245 pounds gets you. You can't be tackled by an arm tackle where Tua goes down with an arm tackle.
Not only does he go down, he throws the ball up and has a fumble every time. And it's always on fourth interception.
So, I mean, listen, as much as I hate this, and I'm going to be done, as much as I hate this, I think the writing is on the wall as far as Tua as Tua goes. I think it's just an inevitability that we may just have to eat his salary or eat.
I think so.
Eat that and move on. The sooner we get him out of here, the healing starts to begin. We have to get him out of here. He's not going to be the guy. He's not.
And he's sucking up too much of the attention and the whole, it's like a black hole around him, man. It's just like a spiral, a whirlpool. All the energy, all the media attention, all the podcasts, everything sucked. Even this show, everything's sucked into him. It's time to turn the page and be done with it. Build a team, not a propaganda machine for one player who's never really achieved anything, but everybody makes him a legend in their own mind.
And anyone out there saying keep Tua and draft a rookie, saying draft a rookie and keep Tua. No, I do not want my rookie quarterback next year learning from them.
No, I agree. And Mounty, yo, thanks for the call, bro. It's a pleasure as always. I hope you call back in soon, man. We're going to hop off here, but I appreciate it.
Is Mounty there? Oh.
So Mounty dipped out. But yeah, I just want to say, man, thanks for calling in to Mounty, to everybody else who called in tonight. It was great to talk to you guys. We will be opening it up for calls just one at a time like we did tonight. And we're going to continue to talk the stuff we talk, man. We're going to continue to keep it real. We're going to continue to keep it objective on this channel. The buzz isn't big for the Dolphins right now because the Dolphins aren't good, but we will be here when they are again, and these viewers will pop up and we'll be having these lively discussions again. But it's time to move away from the whole Tua narrative where everything's just about him. And I'm tired of it. I think everybody is. So look, we'll talk to you guys very soon. Thank you again to Lakers, to Artie, to Mounty, for all of you calling in. We greatly appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon. G, any final words to the fans?
Any final thoughts before I get out of here? Yeah, man. Larry, this is my final take, and then I have to go. I have to do some homework real quick. But final thoughts. Yeah, man. I don't think anything's happening. Maybe Weaver gets fired. I don't think any changes happen. I think we're just staying the course. You can cry all you want about Chris Greer and Mike McGee saying and cry that once again we're not going to get a good start on the head coaching process. You can cry all you want. Unless we get embarrassed by the Cleveland Browns, maybe Mike McGee gets fired. I think we're going to win this game. Dylan Gabriel is probably worse than Tua. Yeah, the Browns got a good defense and Myles Garrett there. Our O-line's trash, but Dylan Gabriel is a bum. The only way the Browns win, per se, is if they have like 3 picks and Dylan Gabriel cashes in on touchdowns and the defense, the Browns even shut us out. Yeah, I don't want to win this game. I hope we lose. And, you know, I'm embracing the tank, guys. Back when in 2019 when we had Flores, I was not fully embracing the tank. Now I'm on board. Tank. Let's lose every game here and out and hope the Jets can win one more game. Because Jets fans, I know you. I know the Jets. You guys suck. We suck. We get it. But you guys always find a way to botch your tank. You botched it with Trevor Lawrence. You're going to botch it again. You're going to find a way to win the Dolphins game, and you'll find a way to beat maybe a team like the Bills. Get ready, Jets. I hope you're ready because you're going to blow it. We'll be picking number 1 in April. Get ready for it. But I think we're going to win because Dylan Gabriel's a bum. I hope we lose. But, yeah, that's my final thoughts.
Yeah, man, look, I think at the end of the day, make sure you guys click subscribe, click like, join, become a Fury fan member. I'm done predicting games because I predicted wins. I'm sick of it. I just want a higher draft pick. I want to turn the page. We ride with this ship. This channel will do its shows. I will do my rants after the games. We will talk about it. We will do clips about it. We will go down in flames with this ship and then start fresh next year. Thank you again for everybody who joined today. Thank you for checking out the channel and for tuning in and for subscribing. We'll see you very soon. Even in hard times.
One more thing, Fairy Fam. Larry has gave me permission to swear, but I got to bleep him out. Now, if I go off, I'll have to edit it. It depends how much time I have to edit it. So be on the lookout for those coming forward.
You're crazy. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Fins up.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.